culture, and beliefs is the religious commitment of the Filipino people. Our faith is unwavering even in the midst of the most challenging time. Guling came from an Ilocano word meaning to mark, smear, or make a sign. The distinctiveness and richness of the history of the Filipino culture is established as one of the most well-known worldwide. The Philippines boasts a great cultural heritage that has been handed down through the generations in addition to its abundance of natural resources.
When the Tirong tribemen attacked the early settlers, they were compelled to relocate eastward. They discovered neighbors in their view settlement location, now Batak Town. Their neighbors persuaded them to seek sanctuary at their place. Believing that the Tirongs were still a threat, the settlers begged off and boldly answered, "Makapaway kami," and the town was finally named Paoay.
Located in the municipality of Paoay, approximately 387 kilometers from Manila and 21 kilometers from the capital city of Lawag.
Today, Paoay becomes one of the most popular places to visit in the north because of its natural beauty and richly maintained pre-colonial cultural attraction. Intay pay amwen, ken pasyaren iti ili ti Paoay.
St. Agustin Catholic Parish Church, popularly called as Paoay Church.
One of the oldest churches in the Philippines and is among of the major attractions in the province.
The Augustinians built Paoay in 1593 to spearhead the spiritual conquest of Ilocos Norte. During the early years of Spanish administration, started by Augustinian friar Father Antonio Estavillo, he began building Paoay Church in 1694 and finished it in 1894. Regarded as one of the UNESCO's World Heritage in recognition of its unique architectural style, which is a reinterpretation of European Baroque by Chinese and Philippine craftsmen. Its exterior displays Gothic affinities, wherein its gables showcase Chinese characteristics and the niches topping the walls imply Javanese influence, which only shows that the town's early settlers were engaged in active trade with other Eastern nations like China. The church was called the Earthquake Baroque because of its fortress-like structure with 24 enormous buttresses designed to withstand the devastating force of an earthquake.
Its thick walls were made of coral stone and brick, sealed with hard lime mortar. It was made, according to historians, by mixing sand and lime with molasses that had been simmered with mango leaves, leather, and rice straw for 2 nights.
The church facade is just as impressive as the buttresses, even when they begin to lean forward.
A cornice extends down the sides of the church, enveloping each buttress and giving attention and articulation to the massive lateral struts. At the top is a niche, the otherwise bare plaster surface decorated with battlements, niches, rosettes, and the coat of arms of Agustin.
Bottom level of the facade is bare and it's made up of bricks.
While the upper level is composed of coral stones.
The bell tower comprises of a 3-story coral bell tower and it is independently built and adjacent to the church facade on the right side.
Inside of the church is a very solemn and sentimental atmosphere. The ceiling once had a painting similar to the Sistine Chapel in Italy. Unfortunately, the original ceiling was already replaced. What remains is a half-timbered cavernous labyrinth with exposed rusting corrugated iron.
Climate becomes a threat with ongoing rise of population and the movement of plates and typhoons. The current warming is posing significant difficulties to man and the environment, and will continue to do so in the future. Some autonomous adaptation is now going place. But in order to maintain sustainable growth, we must consider more proactive adaptation planning.
The Philippines is extremely sensitive to the effects of climate change, which include sea level rise, an increase in the frequency of extreme weather events, rising temperatures, and heavy rainfall. This is owing to its significant vulnerability to natural disasters, such as cyclones, landslides, floods, and droughts. Dependence on climate-sensitive natural resources and huge coastlines that are home to all of its main cities and the bulk of its people. While the world is changing, multiple heritage structures began to fall to its pieces, leaving marks of our own history. According to the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, or NHCP, has completed the conservation of Paoay Church exterior recently. Despite the pandemic, NHCP pushed through with the repairs of the Ilocos landmarks exteriors, which began in the second quarter of 2019. The Philippines has several heritage churches scattered throughout the country, one of which is the Paoay Church in Ilocos Norte. These churches are a symbol of our country's colonial history. However, some of the historical structures have been destroyed by ages, wars, and destructive disasters. Others have even collapsed. As a result of climate change, our heritage buildings are increasingly vulnerable to natural disasters. Typhoons, earthquakes, and extreme hot weather are just a few of the various climate changes that Paoay Church has encountered. Due to climate change, historic structures are particularly prone to natural calamities. Taking action for this must be made to keep them from being destroyed. The church's roof is deteriorating due to age and heavy typhoons. Roof tiles were used at the time of construction. However, galvanized iron sheets have changed over the years and are currently used for roofing in their current form, supported by timber trusses. The main trusses are also supported by reinforced concrete columns, which replaced the original brick columns in the first half of the 20th century. The Philippine Fault Zone, where the Philippine Plate is subducting, is located in North Luzon. In these regions, earthquakes with magnitude greater than 7.0 are possible. Out of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology report, an earthquake with a surface wave magnitude of 6.5 struck the island of Luzon in 1983. It became one of the strongest earthquakes to hit the Philippines. This earthquake caused massive destruction to the masonry of churches in the Ilocos province, creating major cracks between the main facade and the side walls of the Paoay Church. And it grows larger as it rises on the gap between the northwest and southwest sides. Due to hot weather and changing climate conditions in the country, the San Agustin Paoay Church starts to deteriorate. Effective restoration of the structures can benefit the preserved heritage building and help the revitalization of economic growth and development of a sense of identity, pride, and connection among locals. For the benefit of the community where the historic structure was established, historical conservation procedures such as repair and maintenance, rehabilitation, and retrofitting will become the remedies to maintain and protect the church values and to make it last longer. Repair was the conservation process applied in preventing the continuous deterioration of the brick and coral wall of the Paoay Church. The roofing system that was originally composed of brick tiles was changed to galvanized iron sheets. Additionally, the reinforced concrete columns replaced the primordial brick columns that support the main roof trusses. Although they make some partial changes in its composition and appearance, they still preserve the heritage cultural identity of the Paoay Church. These solutions make the structure adaptable to the modern time and present environment, preventing fast deterioration of the church. The addition of electric fans, CCTVs, speaker, fire extinguisher provides comfort, safety, and security purposes for the users. Regardless of the climate changes that we faces, may we continue and take part in promoting, conserving, and utilizing our cultural heritage.